Class 10. The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. Today, we all live in a democratic nation and believe in nationalism. But do we know the meaning of nationalism? From where did this concept come into existence? How it is related to Europe? And what was the dream of the Europeans? All these will be answered in this chapter. In the series of videos, I am going to present this chapter, the Class 10 CBSE History Chapter 1, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. In this part 1 video, we discuss about the following topics, that is Frederick Soreau's painting and Ernest Renan, the concept of what is a nation, and we also look into the French Revolution and idea of the nation. Introduction. Frederick Soreau was a French artist who in 1848 prepared a series of 4 prints visualizing his dream of world made up of democratic and social republics. The dream of worldwide democratic and social republics, the pact between the nations, a print prepared by Frederick Soreau, 1848. Let's discuss the nation-state concept visualized by the artist in the following picture. The first print shows the people of Europe and America marching in a long train and offering homage to the Statue of Liberty as they pass it. The torch of enlightenment was carried by a female figure in one hand and the Charter of the Rights of Man in the other. On the earth, in the foreground, lay the shattered remains of the symbols of absolutist institutions. In Soreau's utopian vision, the people of the world are grouped as distinct nations, identified through their flags and national costume. The procession was led by the United States and Switzerland, followed by France and Germany. Following the Germany people are the people of Austria, the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary, and Russia. From the heavens above, Christ, saints, and angels gaze upon the scene. They have been used by the artist to symbolize fraternity among the nations of the world. Ernest Renan quest said one nation. What is a nation concept? So the French philosopher Ernest Renan expresses his understanding about the concept of nation in the following way. A nation is not formed by a common language, race, religion, or territory. Instead, to form a nation, social capital, common glories, and deeds of the past and common will are necessary. Nation is a large scale solidarity. Inhabitants of a nation have the right to be consulted in reference of large scale solidarity. The existence of a nation is not only a good thing but also a necessity. A nation has never any real interest in annexing or holding on to a country against its will. Ernest Renan also elaborates the importance of nation. So, importance of nation according to Renan are as follow. The existence of the nation is a guarantee of liberty, and liberty will not be more in case the world had only one law and only one master. During the 19th century, nationalism grew as a strong force that brought various political changes in Europe. The final result of these changes was the coming up of the nation state in place of the multinational dynastic empires of Europe. The French Revolution and the idea of the nation. Till 1789, France was under absolute monarchy. In 1789, nationalism came with French Revolution and the political and constitutional changes led to the transfer of sovereignty from the monarchy to a body of French citizens. Various measures and practices were introduced, such as the ideas of la patrie, the fatherland, and le citoyen, the citizen. A new French flag, the tricolor, was chosen to replace the former one. The Estates General was renamed as the National Assembly, which was elected by the body of active citizens. A centralized administrative system was put in place and it formulated uniform laws for all citizens within territory. Internal customs duties and dues were abolished and a uniform system of weights and measures was adopted. Regional dialects were discouraged and French became the common language of the nation. The revolutionaries further declared that it was their mission to help other peoples of Europe to become nations. The news of the events in France reached the different cities of Europe. Students and the other members of educated middle classes began setting up Jacobean clubs. With outbreak of the revolutionary wars, the French armies began to carry the idea of nationalism abroad. Napoleon. He ruled from 1799 to 1815. He became the first consul in 1799 and assumed absolute power. Introduced the Civil Code in 1804, which also came to be known as the Napoleonic Code. The code established equality before the law and abolished all privileges based on birth. It also abolished the feudal system and freed peasants from serfdom. Transport and communication system were improved. In the beginning, everything seemed good, but soon people turned hostile towards the French army. The following were the reasons: increase in taxation and censorship, and forced enlistment of common people to French army in order to fulfill the aim of conquering the rest of Europe, etc. Thank you. Keep learning sharp. So, in our next video, part 2, we continue the same chapter.